Parables are like diamonds, and when you turn them in the light, there is new beauty that appears that may not have been seen before. This is the way I believe that Jesus designed parables. So none of us hold all the gleanings of Jesus's words, but I do believe when we view the parables through the lens of the gospel of grace, that the light shines safely and clearly without forcing meanings that were never meant to be there. Many of the common themes found throughout Jesus' parables. There is this salvific salvation contrast between man's and specifically Israel's way of righteousness, the law, the lineage, works, versus Jesus, who is the door, the narrow gate, and the only way to the Father, which is what he was communicating through the parables. We must allow Scripture to interpret Scripture, looking at parables in light of the common themes that they reveal as a whole, and most importantly as a Christian through the lens of the gospel and not other way around. And a key point here is that parables are not where we build doctrine, and specifically not where we would build soteriology, salvation doctrine. They illustrate truths and they don't override the clear teaching in Scripture. We have to rightfully divide and get our soteriology, which is the doctrine of salvation, from the books that are actually speaking about it. For anyone that thinks they should go, for example, to the book of Deuteronomy or the book of Revelation to understand salvation is just totally misguided. And it's the same thing with the parables. These are not the short stories or illustrations where we are extracting our soteriology doctrine of how to be justified before God. Paul is the one who has the revelation of our righteousness and our justification before God. So if we ignore the gospel of grace and we end up reading them through a lens of fear or law or self-effort, we may come to conclusions that Jesus never intended communicating. But when we read the parables through the finished work of Christ, we can understand what he is saying, specifically regarding Israel, without losing clarity on the gospel.